This is Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, and this is a photo of him. Did we train and equip him?
By name, I cannot identify that.
Well, that's him with a bunch of U.S. service members outside of our embassy. And just months after this photo was taken in 2021, he led a coup in Guinea and threw out the leader. Does that concern you?
General Langley, can you talk about why we care about what's happening in Africa right now? I mean, if you tell the American taxpayer, why are we there? Why are we spending the money we're spending there?
We need to be able to maintain access and influence across the Maghreb, from Morocco all the way to Libya. The PRC and Russia are also remaining exploitative where possible and coercive when necessary. They want that ground. They want power projection capabilities. So for the most part, the rest of the continent is also for mining concessions, whether it be gold or rare earth minerals. Both of them have a long-range plan. But I think at the accelerated pace, Russian Federation is really trying to take over Central Africa as well as the Sahel.
In this video, we take a look at this senator who makes this submission in the United States of America concerning U.S. military men who are stuck in the country of Niger. Now, over a few months ago, the government of Niger, that is the military junta, has ordered U.S. military to be taken out of Niger. So they are stuck over there since negotiations have not been yet finalized at the moment. Now let's listen to him as he makes this submission. I will come back here and talk more about it. But before that, if you haven't yet liked the video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the video together.
Mr. Speaker, I seek unanimous consent to enter into the congressional record Part 2 of the interim report that I have prepared for the House of Representatives entitled Unwelcome in Niger. Without objection. Mr. Speaker, I rise to warn this body of the deteriorating conditions in the African country of Niger and to give rise to the concern of service members and contractors. More than 1,000 of them right now are functionally being held hostage in Niger. They are being used as pawns during a negotiation that has left America at the bended knee of third world criminals and thugs as our troops seek medicine and fresh water and troop rotations. How did we get here with more than 1,100 Americans endangered right now in Niger? Well, it started back in March of 2023. Secretary of State Antony Blinken went to Niger and proclaimed that it was a model of resilience, a platform for great democracy. It would be where America would execute its Africa strategy. 1 year later, almost to the day, there was a coup in Niger. And guess who overthrew the government that we said was the great model of resilience? People we trained. In like a dozen countries, the coup leaders are people we trained. Like, what a difference a year makes. March 16th, 2023, Secretary Blinken calls Niger, quote, a model of resilience, a model of democracy, a model of cooperation. 1 year and 1 day later, Dr. Wallander, the spokesperson of the Nigerian military, Colonel Amadou Amabrame, says, quote, the American presence in the territory of the Republic of Niger is illegal. We trained the coup leaders to go throw out the democratically elected government of Niger. And I know this will surprise you, but after that occurs, they say they want our bases that U.S. taxpayers have poured more than $1 billion into gone. They want our service members gone. They are throwing us out by the scruffs of our neck. And so I came to this floor after hearing from some of my constituents who are stationed in Niger. And after the overthrow of the government, there weren't resupply flights. They said, Congressman, we are going to be out of medicine in May if we don't get this sorted out. 3 days after I filed Part 1 of the report that I am supplementing today, the Biden administration announced that we will be leaving Niger. A welcome sign, I'm sure, but the leaving didn't actually happen. We have people who are now more than 200 days into a 180-day rotation, and while the negotiation regarding retrograde and withdrawal are ongoing, the government in Niger is using the well-being and health of our service members as leverage to get what they want out of our government. Our troops aren't getting medicine for malaria, for cholesterol, for their blood pressure, chronic conditions. And I've received the letters from the wives, from the fathers of the people who are in Niger now, and they say, we know that our family members are being extorted by the local governments when they try to leave, hundreds of dollars to even bring a bag through the airport. We know that Russians are behind the wire.
Are you aware of the Iranian efforts to now mine in Niger? They're saying that Iran is working on economic arrangements to get uranium from Niger. I mean, we've spent more than $500 million in the country. What can you say we've got for that $500 million as we sit here today? If it's like being turned into an Iranian mine, the Russians are the preferred security partner, and we're training the coup leaders.
You know what a real U.S. president would do? Say that C-130s are on their way to Niger today with the water and the medicine and the food our troops need, that they will have a full fighter pilot escort there. And if the Nigerian government or any other third world thug tries to even turn on their air defense systems, we should show those leaders and those thugs what the target package looks like on their houses and their family members, because it should not be Americans that are suffering because President Biden and Blinken are so embarrassed that their strategy in Africa failed that they're willing to let Americans' conditions deteriorate.
General Langley, you went to Niger and you went to have a meeting with the people we trained who overthrew the democratically elected government, and Fox News is reporting that you didn't even get a meeting with the principal decision maker. Sources say last week's meeting with the junta was extremely difficult. The administration's envoys did not get to meet with Niger's principal decision maker.
They're willing to let our military spouses and family members wonder what's going to happen to their loved ones with their blood pressure rising and no blood pressure medication, or concerned what will happen now that we're in May and there's not sufficient malaria medication. We should always keep our people's well-being at the forefront of our minds. And today we should be resupplying our troops in Niger, Africa, and we should dare these thugs and criminals to mess with us while we're doing that. This is a total embarrassment, but saving politicians and people like Biden and Blinken from embarrassment is not worth putting U.S. troops at risk. I will stay on this. I will stay on our government and the Nigerian government to ensure that our military members and their families are appropriately treated and their concerns are elevated to the highest levels of this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Welcome back. So in this video, we saw the submission by this senator who spoke extensively and a lot about military leaders who are stuck in the country of Niger, and they need some essential supplies like medications for malaria, blood pressure, and other essentials, and have not yet been able to receive these essentials, or have not even been able to return back to the country of the United States of America. But I think I like the second man who asked a question that what is the importance of investing all these monies, taxpayers' money of the United States of America, in building military base or military camp in Niger? What is the issue about Niger that should bother the taxpayer in the United States of America? And I think this is a very important question to ask, because first of all, I don't know why the United States will send its military, its soldiers to Niger and other African countries, let alone to talk of building a military base in these African countries. Every country has its own responsibility of defending against itself, dealing with its own problems and challenges. So as military of the United States of America, I think there are a lot of issues in the United States of America that they need to pay attention to, rather than to leave the United States and then come to Africa and build military bases there. What is the essence of building a military base in Niger. It is all to exploit the resources of these African nations. And now these leaders are not taking this anymore. These military juntas are overthrowing the democratically elected government who are in bed with the West and are now trying to forge a way for development for the African people. So I don't know why the United States would invest over $1 billion in building military bases in Niger. Why would you pour such an amount of money in there? Because you know the evil motive that you have at the back of your mind. He mentioned that the U.S. government's Africa strategy did not work. What African strategy are they talking about? So it means you have a strategy to apply in Africa in order to be able to exploit resources from Africa. That is simply the case. He also mentioned of Iran, who are in agreement process to mine uranium from Niger. And he says that they have pumped about $500 million into the country of Niger, and they are not getting anything out. I never knew Niger was a business venture for them to pour money in and expect to recoup some profit out of the country. Now, Niger now is in agreement with the countries that are ready to work with them, go by the agreements with them so that they could have mutual benefits, not countries who will go there to exploit them. I believe in the case of Iran, they will be able to sit down properly with them so that as Iran mines their uranium, it will be to the benefit of Iran as well as to the benefit of the people of Niger. The West and the United States in particular has exploited Niger and other African countries for a long time. And I think this is the time to draw the curtain down. These countries in the Sahel region have led this cause, and I think all African countries need to do same so that the continent can develop, so that Africans can also have their place in this world. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Share your thoughts and opinions about this in the comment below. Don't forget to share the video to your friends and your family. Also, don't forget to like this video, and then don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Just look at the subscribe button down here, click on the subscribe button, click as well on the notification bell, and I'd like to see you again in my next video.